Hey, what's up guys, Ford Civic here, and today we're going to be talking about the PG32UCDM's new update, the MCM108 update. Since this monitor came out, it has just been an absolutely phenomenal piece of work. Right out of the gate, there were some HDR brightness issues, especially with the monitor not being able to reach its peak brightness of, I believe, 1000 nits. But that was quickly fixed, I believe, within the month for both the HDR True Black mode and the console HDR and the gaming HDR mode. Later, after some people were asking for a long time for customization for, tinkering of settings like saturation and just like deep dive into tinkering settings to what they specifically like. Even though the monitor specifically was ridiculously color accurate and stuff out of the gate, people do like to tinker with devices, myself included. For a long time, that has kind of just been something that's been kind of like swept under the rug. We were unsure if we were even going to get an update that would do just that. In the summer of 2024, we finally got a Dolby Vision update, which is really nice, and only a few games supported, but it's really nice for people that want to watch movies and TV and different stuff like that. As you can see in the back behind me, have a Sony A95L, so I'm not really going to watch TV and movie on here, but it is ideal for a lot of people that don't have that option, and it's really cool adding extra features that, even if some people don't use it, some people are going to. But regardless, with this MCM1 update, they have added a onslaught amount of features that have just elevated this already, like, in my opinion, god tier OLED 4K monitor to just new heights that I did not really even see it being capable of reaching. And I didn't think we were gonna get improvements on this monitor until we got like a new iteration. I know the 27-inch variant's coming out, but from what I've gathered, it's not really that much different than the 32-inch, except a smaller form factor for like competitive gamers or people that want a smaller display. So first and foremost, they have added tinkering to both the saturation and a lot of the underhood settings that a lot of people have been begging for since the launch of this monitor, that basically allows you to tinker it to basically however you please. You want the image to be super saturated, you can. You want the image to be super unsaturated, you can. Like, it's just an onslaught of like features and different stuff like that. Now, what is the absolute most mind-blowing thing with this update for me and Unusual Nobody, the person that brought it to my attention? It was funny because I was streaming some Marvel Rivals, and he was like, "Lord Civic, when is the new update gonna come out?" And I was like, I don't know, because for some reason people think I'm a YouTuber and I have inside information. That's not true. But regardless, literally within an hour, the update came out. And I didn't update it until the next day of, but I remember when I updated it and I turned on, gaming HDR mode, I was just like, what did this update do? The overall image is brighter, and like the patch notes, I know they're not called patch notes for a monitor, but patch notes, that's the video game term, whatever, did not really highlight, or maybe it did, maybe I just misinterpreted it or whatever, but the overall brightness of the image is a lot brighter. It almost feels like colors are even more accurate than they were before. I don't know, that might be like a placebo effect, but I could definitely tell that the brightness is overall brighter, and it just looks absolutely phenomenal. I took some clips of Cyberpunk 2077 in both the console HDR mode with dynamic brightness boost and the gaming HDR mode, which you're going to see clips throughout the video, but I'm going to make a whole video afterwards that you guys can watch, and I'll make sure to link that in the comment section below. But like, it just looks crazy. Like, I remember, like, when you're playing a game or whatever with the monitor, the overall image would be like somewhat bright, and then the peak highlights would be bright, but it just feels like everything's bright, and the peak highlights still look even brighter, like all the stoplights and headlights and the billboards and everything. It just looks absolutely phenomenal. I have no idea what exactly they did, but like, it just looks crazy. And I ideally use the gaming HDR mode because I like the accuracy of colors and different stuff in that mode, but I would not knock anybody for using the console HDR mode with the dynamic brightness boost, especially when you're playing games that don't, go for like a realistic art style, or they're like animated and different stuff like that. Obviously, if you're playing something like Red Dead Redemption, Horizon Forbidden West, which I guess has an interesting art style. So I guess you can go with console HDR or gaming HDR, you'd be fine. Cyberpunk and different stuff like that. You could pick and choose, but it's like really crazy that we now have the option of, you know, just different gaming modes and different settings that allow you to basically tinker the monitor specifically to the way that you want, and not just be locked on, hey, this is specifically how the monitor do. The monitor is intended, and like I just love when companies and stuff give the user that type of freedom and different stuff like that. Last thing I want to cover, which is really freaking cool, is the OLED care option. So they have moved the settings that are basically, you know, pixel refresh and basically pixel refresh, like how much it reminds you and different stuff like that. And also what the monitor didn't have to prior is now I forgot the specific name and term that it's under, but OLED usage info, which is basically how much time you've used on your OLED. Mine's at 2,049 hours, and it shows my pixel clean interval and the pixel clean times, the amount of times it's done that. Also has the auto logo brightness, logo detection, taskbar detection, boundary detection, screen move, pixel cleaning reminder, and then screensaver. And it's just like, this is such a huge update that, you know, is not just only increase the overall brightness and just allow the user the freedom to basically tinker everything that they want, but it also allows you to care and be conscious of like how much you've been using your OLED and reminder and all this different stuff all within a nice setting. It's so crazy that, you know, this monitor came out, like, was it last year? I think, was it last year or 2023? I think it was last year. Regardless, technology is moving so fast, so I'm kind of forgetting when specific stuff released and different stuff like that. But like, it's just crazy to see the timeline of like when this monitor came out, where like HDR was like not working, like the brightness wasn't working particularly right, to like this just revolution of like what this monitor has become. And I'm just so excited to see where Asus goes next, not only with this monitor, but also in, you know, other different monitors that they plan on making in the future. At CES, they announced a 1440p 500Hz does not support DisplayPort 2.1a, which kind of sucks. MSI does, so it's kind of confusing. But regardless, that's an option. That we got a 27-inch variant that's going to be basically, I guess, on the same update cycle as this monitor and different stuff like that. But it's just really cool, and I can't wait to see 4K 360Hz monitor, 4K 500Hz, like, and the 5090 is coming out soon. Just so freaking cool. So regardless, if you haven't updated already, I highly recommend it. If you have any questions for me that I can particularly answer in the comment section below, please make sure to comment that below. If you are having trouble with the update, I'll try to put the instructions thing in the description below. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching. With saying that, hope you guys have a great day.